hard to compare, and I don't necessarily like comparing to past years because every year is different and everything feels different. But I mean, I've been 155 a handful of times at Stanford over the past year, suited up and stuff. And so I felt like I should be around 54 at a meet like this.
At the Mission Pro Swim, Olympic icon Katie Ledecky dropped a monstrous 200 freestyle, 154.4. What kind of work was Ledecky putting in leading up to this competition?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, Greg has called a training camp for the small group of us. Coming off of their NCAAs, we typically there's a small group of us that typically goes to Colorado Springs. And there's some sets that we would typically do at the OTC. Some of those we did back at Stanford, and there were just some other things that we did differently this year as well, which was really good. It was really challenging 2 weeks. Like every practice, there was a pretty tough set for each of us, pretty individualized, and Greg would send out an email on Sunday with some of the sets we would do all week, so we knew what we had coming for us, which was kind of fun and just good to really attack each practice. And Greg added in some core work and extra pull-ups and all of that over the past 2 weeks, so I think we all feel pretty strong and feel like we're moving in a good direction.
This is something that all swimmers can relate to. Does Ledecky like knowing what her sets are going to be a week in advance?
That's something I've debated and I think I've gone back and forth on over the years. Nowadays I kind of like knowing what's coming for me and can kind of, prepare with how I'm napping or how I'm eating before practices, and can sort of visualize certain things even. So just allows you to set some goals for yourself going into those sets and try to achieve them kind of like you would in a meet.
Ledecky's raced mostly at practice during the pandemic. The Mission Pro was a real meet. Did Ledecky pick up on the added energy of the competition?
When I've done some longer races at Stanford, suited up, it's usually just either me or I raced True Sweetser in January, I think, a couple times in 800 and miles. So definitely feels a little more real when you're swimming against 7 other people and can get that kind of energy going.
Ledecky's swimming fast, but how has she felt the effects of this past year?
I've seen there's been a lot of fast swimming this year, and I think everyone has different takeaways from that, whether it's people that took 2 or 3 months off completely from swimming and they get back in and they're doing better than ever, and it's like, oh, the rest is really good for us. I swam in a short course pool for 3 months, backyard pool, and Simone and I trained there together for 3 months, and that was tough. There were some days where one of us would be off and we would kind of have to pick each other up, but looking back on that, it was just a good test, and I think built some strength in both of us, and I think gave us a greater appreciation for once we were back with more of our team and all of that, and we've just been able to build through this year and feel really good about training.
Training in the backyard with one other swimmer builds a bond. What does Ledecky and Simone Manuel leaning on each other look like?
That look you give each other, or that let's go before a 50 pace or whatever it is. Or if one of us has a really bad practice, we'll text each other afterwards hey, everything's good. I think we have a nice small little pro group and people that are focused on trials as well. So we have 4 or 5 of us here this week, so it's a fun little group, plus the Stanford team as well.
U.S. Olympic Trials Katie Ledecky Predictions, version 2. Yes, playing again, because Ledecky made me look like a wimp in version 1. I was way off. My last trials predictions were 154.5 200 free, 359.1 400 free, 809 800 free, 1529 1500 free, and I said she's not likely to swim the 100 freestyle. New predictions: 153.6 200 free, 358.1 400 free, 808 800 free, 1527 1500 meter free, and she swims the 100 freestyle in prelims only, 53.7. But who cares what I think? It's all about what you think. Bring me your best expert swimming analysis.
2015 and had never been at a meet of that level, and so my coach at the time, Yuri Sugiyama, really prepared me well for that meet, had me watch videos from past Olympic trials at that pool. I think there was even a behind the scenes video that he had me watch of the warm-up pool and had me really visualize those things. So I definitely felt pretty prepared when I got there, but it also is just a whole different animal of a meet, and a lot of emotions and a lot of excitement.